What do you guys think? Am I crazy for thinking that that was like a sign from God? It's finally Sunday again, and I am back here in front of the red sofa with the dancing bunny cactus in the back. And I am going to start with a disclaimer. This video is not about religion, necessarily. I'm not going to try to convince anybody to believe anything or not believe anything. I'm just going to tell you what happened to me, and whatever you think about that is your deal, okay? And the story I want to tell you today for Sunday Storytime is when, I say I got a message from God. This whole ordeal happened, when I was on a cruise, and it was our big, 14-day cruise through the Mediterranean, where we went to Italy and Greece and Israel, and I think those are the places we went to. We stopped at many places in those countries, and it was on, I always get these mixed up. It was either the Mariner or the Navigator. I should have looked. It was one of those, and there are videos of this trip on my channel. They're quite old. They're a much different style than the videos I do now. They're much more straightforward, not a lot of humor in them, not a lot of me just being me. It was more of me trying to be like CNN travel. We were in Jerusalem, which is a fascinating city. Wow. If you ever have the chance, if you're interested and you ever have the chance to go there, fascinating. And the whole area around it and the history and everything, it was so cool to be there. So I was raised Catholic, and I did my first communion. I was baptized, did my first communion, and did my confirmation and all those things. And until I was 18 years old, I basically went to church 2 days a week. On Sundays, went to Mass, and then on Wednesday nights we called it catechism, or did we have another name for it? I don't know. So it was an hour and a half or an hour of religious class, because I didn't go to a Catholic school. Yeah, and I was raised Catholic, and then as I became an adult, and then when I started coming out to myself and to other people, I had a lot of conflict in my head about what to do with these beliefs and this faith and all these things that I was taught that were sort of, telling me that I wasn't necessarily a good person for being the person that I am. Oh, geez. I really don't want to get into that whole side of this. Like I said, I just want to tell you what happened. And in order to make it really make sense, I need to give you a little bit of background information. So that's how I was raised. And I stopped going to church, and I stopped sort of practicing being a Catholic, but I'm not necessarily against a lot of the things that I learned from growing up in the Catholic faith. Let's put it that way. All right, so fast forward tons of years until this cruise, and we are in Jerusalem. And I think knowing so much about the Catholic faith and the church and all that really helped me enjoy our visit to Jerusalem more than it would have if I really had no idea about anything about that. Because then a lot of the things that we were seeing, they connected to things that I had learned about in the past. And it sort of awoke a lot of memories for me. And it was a really, in a way, it was sort of a spiritual experience to be there. But like I said, that's not what this video is about. All right, one of the big highlights of this trip and of this day was going to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. I think I'm saying that right. And that is, it's called a church, but what it is it's basically a big construction over the rock where apparently or supposedly this guy named Jesus was crucified 2017 years ago. For people who have no idea about Christianity, there was this guy named Jesus. People claimed he was the Son of God, and he was crucified by the Romans, and then after that, all sorts of crazy shit happened. In a nutshell, a long, long time ago, there was a small structure built over it, and then got bigger, and then got bigger and bigger and bigger, and now it's this huge, like, sort of like a cathedral. You know what? I'm gonna link the video in the description below so you can see it, what I saw when we were there. And like I said, it brought back a lot of memories, and it brought back a lot of good memories and also bad memories, good feelings and bad feelings, just to be there and to realize, okay, this person that I learned about and these events that I learned about, it's not just necessarily a story. Like, these are real places. This is really the Garden of Gethsemane. However you say that. This is really, where the Last Supper was. This is really the rock where the cross stood, and this guy named Jesus died on that cross. This all happened right here. Whether or not you believe, the miracles and all the teachings and all that stuff, that doesn't matter. Like, the story talks about these places, and there they are in Jerusalem and in Israel altogether. And so that was, for me, just a really cool thing to see. All right, we had booked a private tour guide together with another family. We were splitting the cost, and we were with him for 2 days. And he was fascinating and very well-knowledged and very friendly, and we wouldn't have seen, half of the things that we had seen if it wasn't for him. Unless we had booked, some other kind of tour, I guess. But so we had a little bit of time to ourselves while we were in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. And there was, I don't know, like this quiet corner of it with old, stones that have been there for like thousands of years. And people have been coming to this site for thousands of years. And I did something that I haven't done in a long, long time. And I sat down and I said a prayer because, I don't know, I learned that's what you do when you're in a church. So I don't want to tell you about everything that I said in this prayer, but I asked for a few things. And one of the things that I asked for, which was really important to me at the time, was a little bit of direction on what I should do with my life. Because I was sort of coming to the end of my time in my career on stage in the musical business. I was realizing I don't know how much longer I want to do this, at least the way I'm doing it now. And I had started making YouTube videos. I mean, I made videos when I was there. But my channel was like, I had like all together on all of the videos I had online, I think I had like just around 100,000 views. So not subscribers, views on all of the videos I had, which was probably not even, like 50 or something like that. So anyways, I was trying to figure out what I was going to do next in my life if I wasn't going to be going on stage full time anymore. And that was what I asked for. I asked for like a sign or a way to figure out what would be the next logical thing to like invest my heart into. And then it was time to go, and we went and had a lunch there in like a little courtyard close by, some really great falafel. And it's very fitting because for lunch today, I had leftover falafel. We went to a restaurant last night and I got a huge plate of falafel and hummus and salad, and I couldn't finish it, and that's what I had for lunch today. And tangent, after we had lunch, then we took a long walk through the city, through the old part of the city, and just learned about all these fascinating things. And we were in this market area. And if you've ever been to, Jerusalem, then you know what this area is like. But in these scenes in like movies like Indiana Jones, where people are like walking down narrow alleyways, and there's like carpets and incense and like live chickens hanging and stuff like that. That's kind of what, it's not kind of like, that's what this area was like. It was a crowded, touristy market with people from all over the world walking through there, very hustly bustly, a lot of, corners and just people all over. And we were with the tour guide and the family, and we were all sort of walking at our own pace, but staying together, keeping an eye on each other. And Marcus said something like, I think there's a guy following us. And so I sort of like coyly looked, and I was like, do you mean that guy? And he's like, yeah, that guy. And so we walked a little bit further, and I asked Marcus, is he still, like, can you still see him? And he's like, oh yeah, he's definitely following us now. And so we stopped for a second, and I was trying to get the attention of our tour guide guy to ask him, what's going on? And the guy was wearing the black robes and the black hat and had the black curls, and looked like somebody from there. I mean, there's a lot of people who looked very similar to him walking around, and probably not a lot of people who look similar to me, in my shorts and with my backpack and holding a camera around, although were a lot of tourists there. Anyways, while I was trying to get the attention of our tour guide, he approached me, and he said, can I take a picture with you? And I was thinking, and I know now, I mean, this is so silly of me, but I was thinking that it was like a tourist trap, that he was going to take a picture of me like with a Polaroid or something, and then make me buy it from him or something. And the reason that I felt like that is just because of the atmosphere in this market area. It's just all these people trying to sell you stuff and try to, finagle with you to buy their goods. And so that's how I came up with that idea. And so my answer to him, my original answer, was actually kind of, I tried to make it kind of like stern to get him to go away. Actually, I was like, why do you want to take a picture with me? And the poor guy, he said to me, I've seen your videos about Disney World on YouTube, and because of watching those videos, my wife and I are going to take our first trip to the United States because we want to see this place. And that happened just a couple, like maybe 45 minutes after I said that prayer. So that's the core of the story. And I'm getting a really strange feeling right now. I've totally got goosebumps. I don't know if you can see it. And it was a strange feeling at the time too, because like I said, I did have videos on YouTube, but all of them together had only been seen by like 100,000 people, which if you think of the population of the entire world, and if you think of how many people have seen my videos now, which is almost 7 million, that's not a lot of people. That's really not a lot of people at all. And the fact that the first time ever in my life anybody would ever talk to me, like approach me in public, because they saw my videos on YouTube, the first time ever was shortly after I said a prayer, the first prayer I had said in a long time, asking for direction on what I should do next with my life and what I should invest my heart into next. And then this guy in Jerusalem comes up to me and says, I've seen your videos on YouTube and it changed my life. So, what do you guys think? Am I crazy for thinking that that was like a sign from God? Is that just a really wild coincidence? To this day, it's one of the most profound things that's ever happened to me. And I don't know how else to explain it, and I don't know how to put to words what that felt like. You know what I mean? I don't know. Have you guys ever had anything like that happen to you? I mean, I don't think things like that happen very often, or, you know, if they did, I don't know, would the world be different? Okay, I think I'm going to stop talking about it now. That's my story, and I hope that you enjoyed watching it. And next week, there'll be a different story. And I'm so glad that you guys come here and watch these videos, and I'm glad that they're interesting to you. And I hope that you keep coming back. And if you haven't done it yet, like I always say, subscribe, and then you'll get a notification when I post a new video. And like most of you know, I don't only just post these Storytime videos, I also post videos from my travels around the world. At the moment, the vlogs that are coming are from a recent cruise on the Norwegian Epic in the Mediterranean, not going to Israel. And those are going to be coming up then in between all the Sunday story times in the next few weeks. And you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Speaking of falafel, every Friday I do Food and Drink Friday on my social media, so I post pictures of food that I've gotten from around the world or from here in Hamburg, or that I've cooked here at home. No, I guess I don't do that very often, do I? Do I? I don't know. And it would be cool if you could follow me there as well. And the final thing is, if you want to give me a little tip and get some extra videos and behind the scenes looks, in addition, you can do that at patreon.com/veryunofficial. And the names of the people over here right now are my VIPs over there, and there's some new names. So welcome, guys, and thanks. See you later. Bye.